I actually have panic attacks. I've had a couple this past week. And I get very emotional over it. I don't want to work anymore, but I can't afford to retire.
Obviously, President Trump is immensely wealthy, has been wealthy since he was born.
Yeah.
Do you think he understands?
No. No. He hasn't lived it to understand it. He sees it, he has not lived it. He needs to live it.
First thing, Karen, so you're upset that Donald Trump can't relate to the everyday person because he's a billionaire. Then why did your stupid ass vote for him 3 times then? Because that's not what it was about, is it? You wanted somebody that can relate to the everyday person. Vice President Harris grew up poor, put herself through college, finished at the top of her class, was a DA, served in every branch of the government. You didn't want her, did you? Because you couldn't vote for the black woman.
But I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it now.
As a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I am regretting my vote for Donald Trump.
I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it.
A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that.
I regret voting for Trump.
So deeply regret my vote for Donald Trump.
I regret voting for Trump.
I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of MAGA. A lot of us there have seen the light. We have deep regrets.
I feel guilty because I voted for Trump twice. I feel very guilty because I feel responsible. That's why he's still running.
I was with Trump for 9 straight years. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Trump.
You didn't get a wall. You didn't drain the swamp. You didn't get affordable health care. You didn't eliminate the national debt. You didn't get new infrastructure. You didn't get Hillary Clinton locked up. You didn't get Epstein accountability. You didn't get a $5,000 Doge check. You didn't get a $2,000 stimulus check. You didn't get lower grocery prices. You didn't get help buying a home. You didn't get America first. You didn't even get peace. You lost family, friends, and credibility. So what did you gain?
See, these are the consequences of choices. And when you look at these MAGA people, it's hard to forgive them, because how do you forgive someone who ignored all the warnings, someone who ignored all the red flags? This is not the first time that they were voting in their favorite president, Donald Trump. Donald Trump was here before. Donald Trump had really shown the whole world who he really was, but they chose him because he was their man, and he didn't promise them anything good, but he promised them white supremacy. And to these people, white supremacy is all they need. They need to look better, not become better, but look better than someone else. So no wonder it's hard to really sympathize with these people. This is exactly what the rest of the world, and especially other Americans, are talking about.
You went to the voting booth and looked at 2 candidates, and you saw Donald Trump for the 3rd time, not once, not twice, 3rd time, and said, who should I vote for? Let me see. An adjudicated rapist, a man that has sexually assaulted 24 women, who was sued by a 13-year-old Katie Johnson, where Donald Trump and Epstein raped her, protects men that molest little children from Epstein Island, insurrection, 5 officers that died because of the insurrection, literally stole from cancer charities, questioned the birth of Barack Obama, the first black president, asked for the execution of black men, told us to inject bleach, looked at 15-year-olds naked in his pageant, and you went, damn, I don't know. I can't relate to the billionaire, but I'm going to have to vote for the white man. And you convinced yourself 1,000 different ways why you couldn't vote for the most qualified candidate because she was a black woman. That's what it was. I don't give a damn if you lose your job, Karen. Because that's the same thing that you told to E. Jean Carroll. The stress that she goes through, the probably PTSD, the therapist, the threat she gets from Trump supporters like you told her, I don't give a shit. Trump promised me money. The officers that died from January 6th and long-term disabilities, their families will never see them again. For birthdays, anniversaries, you said, I don't give a shit. The billionaire that can't relate to me promised me money. He defends child molesters, and he's not releasing the Epstein files. And you said, I don't give a shit. He promised me money, the billionaire that can't relate to me. There's a special kind of stupid in the dictionary for you, Karen. And I found it rich that in part of your interview, you said, I don't even understand what a tariff is, but they're not good because I was negatively affected. You didn't even take the time to look up how my 15-year-old knows how a tariff works, and your stupid ass don't. You're not serious right now because you didn't vote for Trump because of what he stood for. You voted for him because he was the white man. See, the reason people don't have sympathy for you, Karen, is because you told the rest of this country, I'm a selfish prick and I don't care about anybody else. When I went to the voting booth, I voted for you as a woman to have rights, to do what you want with your body. I voted for universal health care. I voted to tax rich people, to tax the shit out of them, to have social programs to help people like you. I voted to get people out of college debt. But not you. You only voted for yourself. And Harris, her policies probably would have increased my taxes. But the difference between you and I is that you're a selfish prick. I voted for you and you wouldn't even vote for me. That's what's wrong with this country, Karen, is you. And that selfishness and the white supremacy. Me, me, me. And every 4 years, Republicans like you, pro-life Christians that vote for a rapist and a man that defends child molesters, praise Jesus, go to the voting booth and you ask yourself, am I better off than I was? Yes. Me, me, me. Screw my neighbors. Screw America. Screw everybody else. As long as I'm promised more money, I don't care. You want to know why the economy wasn't great? I'll give you a hint. Rhymes with COVID-19, dumbass. The same president you voted for that told you to inject bleach and UV light up your ass. That guy. Real smart, Karen. The guy that talked about Hannibal Lecter and looked at the sun without sunglasses and talked how windmills cause cancer and moved hurricanes with Sharpies. Who brags about passing a cognitive test 8 times a day. Wow. And you know what's the kicker? Is that you allegedly said you voted for Trump to make America great again, when actually it is make America white again. And your boss, who's a MAGA billionaire, shipped your job and your company over to China because it's cheaper. Hey, but Karen, on the positive side, at least you own the libs. Republicans won, Karen. You defeated woke ideology. Right? Yeah, you made us, you punished us, you won. What are your pronouns? What's a man and what's a woman? Woohoo! Yeah! Fight the radical left. The brown people from Mexico. How's that working out for you, Karen? How's that working out for you? Seems like you really did a good job there. Hey, have the day you voted for. I don't know what you're upset about. And if you would have listened to the other black woman, Michelle Obama, she told you, if you think that your white privilege will keep you safe from the darkness, you are sadly mistaken. Your ideology is exactly why part of this country hasn't moved forward, because you still want to live during the times of the Confederacy. You don't want progress. A white minority scares the shit out of you, and that's what you voted for. You don't regret your vote. You don't regret for voting Trump at all. You regret and are upset that you have to pay more money. And that, the fact that you're upset about paying more for your groceries than Donald Trump that rapes women, is exactly what's wrong with you, Karen. And I can't make you see that. We don't have a different point of political ideology. What we have is a different set of values and morality and decency. I voted for John McCain and Barack Obama. 2 different parties. Both decent people. Respectable. Dignified. And you chose not to do that. You chose, I value money over this. You voted for a billionaire who took $300 million from Elon Musk, who is now worth $1 trillion, and told you that the brown people coming from Mexico, they're the real enemies. This happened before in history, Karen. Nazi Germany, fascist Italy, right after the war, when things were bad because of the war, just like things were bad after COVID, right? The entire world went through COVID, just like the entire world went through the World War. And fascists like Donald Trump and Mussolini tell you to blame somebody else. In Germany, it was the Jews, and now it's the immigrants. And this is how stupid you are, Karen. You were convinced that a billionaire who takes a crap on a gold toilet, has his own airplane, that the brown people coming from Mexico who were undocumented, a civil offense, who've been here for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, they're the real criminals. But yet you had no problem voting for a convicted felon who rapes women and defends child molesters and caused an insurrection. That's how stupid you are, Karen. Because you won't break away from your tribalism and your racism. That's on you. I don't know what you're upset about. Have the day you voted for. You own the libs. Have a white day, Karen. Good luck finding another job, because the economy, it's the golden age. Just wait till inflation hits 8%. Own the libs, baby.
Somebody, please explain to me, who raised these people? What the fuck is wrong with them?
We are huge Trump supporters. If you didn't get the email on Monday, you're safe. And I'm like skipping down the halls, right? Like, you know, I get to stay. Wednesday, late afternoon, I received a notice that I have an appointment, a Teams appointment with my supervisor on Friday at 9 o'clock. So I knew that I wasn't safe anymore.
You were skipping down the hall. You were so excited when you thought you were safe. You knew others were suffering and gonna suffer, but you knew you were safe. You were cool with it.
Cutting costs and waste and fraud and. We love that big picture. I love that big picture. My friends, you know, we were excited about that because it is true.
I could just picture you and your friends, glasses of cheap fucking wine, just laughing over others and how others are gonna get affected.
The common theme is, you know, we voted for this. You knew this was coming, but we didn't. Like, nobody that I've talked to understood the devastation that having this administration in office would do to our lives, but other people that we love and care about too within the Mid-Ohio Valley.
There it is. It's only when you're affected that you actually feel bad about something. You don't have any regrets for everyone else. It's that you got affected. You're despicable. You're disgusting. How does it feel?
It's hard. It's wrecking.
Good.
Today's a day that I'm feeling a lot of remorse for having supported Trump and MAGA. Hey everybody, Rich here at Leaving MAGA at leavingmaga.org. Let me preface by saying that I am not making this video to elicit any sympathy or any pity from anyone, but it's just, it's one of these days that it's a stark reminder to me about the remorse, regret, and some of the guilt that I feel over having supported Trump and MAGA, not just as a mere voter, but someone who was an activist, who was a pundit, who worked on the Trump campaign, who donated to the Trump campaign, someone who was an unapologetic and public Trump and MAGA supporter as I was. And as the president threatens war crimes and probably nuclear war, it's just a reminder for me that I made a mistake. And I would ask all of you out there who right now have MAGA friends and relatives, I think a lot of them are starting to feel some regret. I think a lot of them are starting to privately and quietly have their own doubts, their own confusion, maybe questioning their beliefs. Maybe they're feeling a little bit guilt themselves about having supported Trump. It's just, today's the kind of day that, you know, it makes me think that I once supported the Republican Party, and perhaps it's cynical of me to say this, but the Republican Party will not do anything to Trump. Trump knows that. When I was in MAGA, it was a fantasy of ours to kill off the GOP and remake it and transform it into a MAGA party. And I think if it means holding on the power, the Republican Party would let the country burn down to the ground and rule over its ashes. And I don't think that would be too steep a price to pay in the minds of the Republican Party. So reach out to your MAGA friends and family today. See how they're feeling. Ask them if they're having any doubts. Are they questioning what they're seeing? I believe many in MAGA, if not most, know that something is amiss in the country right now. Make sure you're following us at our socials. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter at leavingmaga.org. You can get information on our support group, which is tonight at 7 p.m. It's online. It's for friends and family of those who are in MAGA. And also information on my memoir, One Betrayal Too Many.
If you feel hopeless right now, I'm here to say some Trump supporters are actually regretting their votes. Estimates as high as 1 in 4 people who voted for Trump regret their votes. And on anonymous forums like Reddit, people have poured out their feelings about how much they regret voting for him. People like farmers who have been upset that they're not getting support and money is going to Argentina instead of them. Young voters who feel manipulated by the MAGA movement. And centrists who aren't necessarily committed to a political party have all expressed serious remorse over their vote. The fact that people are admitting that they're not happy with the election and the way things have been with Trump is a serious step in the right direction. As you know, in most cults, people who speak out against the leader are seriously punished. They're ostracized and experience a lot of hostility, which typically prevents them from speaking out in the first place. So although it may feel hopeless and like fascism has been descending upon us for a few years, there actually is a sign of some progress. That's why it's so important to have conversations with these people. If you're a white person and you have family who are Trump supporters, this is a really good time to try to get through to them, especially because a lot of Republicans want the Epstein files to be released, which could be used as a way to find common ground with them and convince them to not be MAGA anymore. Still have a long way to go, but the fact that his approval rating is dropping is a serious sign of good news.
The sad part is, even with the consequences biting as hard as they are today, even with this, MAGA people complaining, crying left, right, and center about losing their jobs, about the state of the economy, about being harassed by, Trump militia in the name of ICE, and even being detained for no reason, they could vote him the 4th time or 5th or 6th again. They would go in there and they would find reasons to why, selfish reasons to why they would vote in this same kind of person, Trumpism. It might not necessarily be this man, but there is this kind of people. See, most of these things, like we have seen with this age of Trump, these racist sentiments have become emboldened. These racist people have become emboldened when one of their own has, has had the power. And that simply just tells you one thing. Many of them are still out there. The only thing is, maybe they didn't get an opportunity, but now that one of them is in there, they get the opportunity to show their true colors. So the thing is, it might not be this particular man, but Trumpism is a disease that is infected many people. And one of them is still lacking in there in the shadows, waiting for this opportunity. And so these people are also there lacking and waiting for one of them to come in there because they're selfish. They don't think about their neighbors. They don't even think about themselves. They're not even thinking about the economy, because Trump only promised them that he would make America great again. When was America great, really? When was it great in the past? America has had a history of oppressing people. America has had the history of segregation, a dark history of every bad aspect that we know to be part and parcel of the American history. But someone comes in claiming that America was better back in the days and he wants to take America back. That only tells you one thing. Those that were oppressing the people had the full advantage of what America was at that time, are the ones enjoying the America of that time, and are the ones who think America should go back to that. It should be about making America better going into the future, not going back into the dark past of America. That is really who these people are. So we have many of them coming out today to say, to talk about how the economy has become so bad, how everything is not affordable, how life has become so expensive, how they're losing their jobs, or they have 2 or 3 jobs but still cannot sustain because of the poor policies going on here, poor economic decisions being made here, unnecessary fights, be they military or even economic fights, picking fights with China and Russia, India, and other countries. These are the same people that didn't even question when Trump said he has a special talent to make the economy better, and they really believed in that. Talking about China would pay for the tariffs. They didn't even question how would China pay for the tariffs of goods they don't consume. It's the American that consumes the goods. So the consumer always pays the tax. They didn't question. They thought their God-given, God-chosen president would magically solve everything. What they don't know is, after all, he might look like them. But in this dirty game of politics, poor people are used as pawns that can be discarded and can be sacrificed at any given point in time. So he might look like you. He might promise that he's going to do this and this for you. He's your person. But really, the truth is, he's just an elite. He cannot even relate to poor people. He's grown up a wealthy man, a wealthy kid. And he doesn't relate with all those struggles. So he's part of the ruling elite, the class of people that don't understand the struggles of the working class. And so with him, he is going to use you and your whiteness to get what he wants, that is power. And after that, you don't matter to him. You're just as good as after you elect him, or as bad as the rest of the people he was talking about, the immigrants, the ones, the black people, the minorities. This is a sad situation, a sad lesson that poor white people are coming to terms with. This reality that they've been warned about for so long by black people, but they didn't listen. But today it's coming, full circle to bite them. Their own choices are back to haunt them. Yeah, so this is exactly what is happening here. I don't know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think, your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If it is your first time here, welcome. Subscribe to the channel. If you're an old member, thank you for your continued support. And I'll see you in the next video.